Tonight, appointed instead of elected.
We're not hand-picking. We're going to look carefully at resumes. We're going to look carefully at who has the skill set to come and do this.
The provincial government announces plans to hand-pick the person who will hold Waterloo Region's top political position.
I mean, it's an extraordinary amount of power to put into the hands of someone appointed by the province.
Reaction to the shakeup. Capturing the impact of copper thefts.
I've been to different ones, but this one just kind of, okay, enough's enough.
A Cambridge councillor raising concerns about the hidden costs of doing business in the city. And supporting each other after a difficult diagnosis. A space where people with early onset dementia can connect.
Good evening. The province has announced major changes to regional governments in several parts of Ontario, including here in Waterloo Region. It means one less ballot in this fall's municipal elections. We begin our coverage tonight with CTV's Siobhan Morris.
The Ford government has introduced a bill that eliminates elected regional councillors in Niagara and Simcoe County.
This is getting in a polite way, politicians in a way out of the way.
Roughly half the positions around the table gone. Those bodies will be made up only of elected mayors and now a chair appointed by the province with extra powers. The province has already been picking chairs in Peel and York. Now comes Durham, Halton, Muskoka, Waterloo, Niagara and Simcoe County. The minister dismisses criticism that this looks anti-democratic.
I see them more or less as a chair of the board. So the directors will be the elected officials. Democracy is alive and well.
Simcoe County's warden embraces the change. He says will speed up decision-making.
Quicker dialogue, a lot easier on staff. When you're trying to organize events with 32 people and get all 32 people for, say, a special meeting or functions or out to ribbon cuttings and that type of thing, it is quite cumbersome.
Opposition parties see this as part of a trend.
The Premier's puppet chairs is yet another anti-democratic attack on local democracy. And for what?
They'll be able to set the budgets, set all the rules, and it will require a supermajority to undo that. That is the definition of undemocratic.
Niagara's already without a full-time chair. Bob Gale resigned from the post last month after it was revealed he owned a copy of Mein Kampf, signed by the author.
It looks like the government intends to appoint their insiders, their failed conservative candidates to it. And you know what? We've seen how badly that can go wrong, haven't we?
Gale had been appointed by the province to replace Jim Bradley as Niagara chair after his death in September.
We're not hand-picking. We're going to look carefully at resumes. We're going to look carefully at who has the skill set to come and do this.
Minister Flack says he's heard from a handful of Niagara's 12 mayors anxious to make more governance changes before this fall's election. He makes no promises, but says he's going to see what's possible in an already short spring session. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
This is a major shakeup of government as we know it in Ontario and in Waterloo Region. The duties of the top elected official in the region soon to be handed over to an unelected person handpicked by the province. CTV's Jeff Pickle joins us with more on this. And Jeff, you spoke with some of our local mayors about this move.
Yeah, Krista, definitely some concern and not really sure yet on all the details, but they say they are committed to retaining as much local decision-making as possible. Within the region, it appears all the changes will come at the top. The province will appoint the regional chair, while the rest of council and the mayors will still be voted in. But the province says all regions must review their council composition following the 2026 municipal election. The new appointed chair will also be given strong chair powers, which means they will only need 1/3 of council to approve any motion.
Well, I mean, it's an extraordinary amount of power to put into the hands of someone appointed by the province. It would certainly sidestep a lot of our understanding and norms around democratic control locally.
A very powerful unelected official and limited ways for residents to have their say.
Suppose the recourse is to write your MPP and hope that they have some sway with the minister. But you can't vote them out. We have strong mayors, obviously, but if people don't like what the strong mayor is doing, they have democratic recourse to say, get out, right? You can't do that here.
Kitchener Mayor Barry Verbanovic says he has some concerns over the changes.
I've been someone who has dedicated his life to local government, and I've always been deeply committed to strong local representation and really making sure that whether at the city or at the region, we're delivering high quality services to our residents.
Waterloo Mayor Dorothy McCabe says the move is undermining local democracy.
I understand the province wanting to have the same process for getting a chair in place. I would prefer that they elect a local representative rather than appoint a representative.
We reached out for an interview with current regional chair Karen Redmond, who was unavailable, but in a statement said, I remain focused on leading this regional council. Adding, I am proud to have been elected twice as regional chair by this community. We share the province's goals, and my focus continues to be on these priorities now and throughout the months ahead as the next steps are determined. So no word yet on how the regional chair will be appointed or what the process to select that chair will be like. Likely to learn those details in the coming months. Krista?
A story we will continue to follow as more information becomes available. CTV's Jeff Pickle reporting for us live tonight. Thanks, Jeff. Time for a check on the weather. Let's over to Leanne Evans now. Leanne, it was a pretty gloomy day out there today.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of been the story of the week this week, and we know we've seen that swing in temperatures too. Spring is here, and we're certainly feeling it here in Waterloo region. Gloomy, dreary, and rainy. That is what the forecast is as we get into your Thursday evening as well. You can see this system continuing to track across southern and southwestern Ontario, with it bringing heavy pockets of rainfall at times, embedded thunder showers, and as you can see north of Waterloo region, we're also seeing some freezing rain, mixed precipitation, and even some snowfall as well. So we're going to kind of time things out and see just how long the wet weather is sticking around a little bit later on in the full forecast. But temperature-wise, right now we're currently sitting at 2 degrees in Waterloo region. It is 4 in London, 12 in Windsor, Essex this hour, so a little bit warmer to the extreme southwest. We are feeling the effects of the wind chill. It's feeling closer to -3 or so right now in Waterloo region. So we're going to time things out and find out what your Easter weekend looks like coming up in the full forecast. Krista.
Okay, we'll check in with you again a little later. Thanks, Leanne. More witnesses took the stand in a Brantford courtroom today in the second-degree murder trial of Elfgard Outred. Elfgard is accused of killing her husband, Gordon Outred, in November 2022. As CTV's Alexandra Hollick tells us, today's testimonies help the Crown set the scene for the morning of the murder.
This orange Jeep and where it went on a foggy morning in November 2022 was touched on in several witness testimonies Thursday. The Jeep belongs to Elfgard Outred, an 81-year-old woman charged with second-degree murder. She's accused of killing her husband, Gordon Outred, on November 24th, 2022. Court heard from Gordon's ex-wife, Joan Thack, who said she's known Elfgard for decades. Thack testified she saw Elfgard drive past her house around 9:15 that morning, questioning why the elderly woman would be driving in the thick fog. An OPP analyst took the stand Thursday afternoon. Valerie Thornton laid out a map with photos and timestamps of where the Jeep was seen the morning of the murder. She noted the Jeep was spotted in a Brantford casino parking lot around 11:30 a.m. and left a half hour later. While the driver of the Jeep is believed to be Elfgard, Thornton noted a license plate isn't visible. Earlier in the trial, court heard Elfgard had a gambling addiction and would often argue with her husband over her habit, which was sometimes fueled by family money. Thornton testified that over the 6 months leading up to Gordon's death, there was nearly $9,000 in cash withdrawals and credit card advances identified in Elfgard's bank statements, which included purchases and withdrawals at Elements Casino in Brantford. Court also heard from Donna Martin, whose husband was close friends with the victim. Martin said about a month before the murder, Elfgard called her, asking her to tell Gordon she was over at Martin's house for coffee, even though Martin was out of town. She told the court Elfgard said Gordon was following her, and when she asked why and if he, quote, has been mean, Elfgard said, no, he's just been following me. Martin testified she didn't speak to Elfgard again after that. The trial will continue next week, with the Crown expected to call on more witnesses. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Brantford.
A Cambridge councillor is raising concerns about what she calls the hidden cost of doing business in her city, sharing a photo online showing piles of stripped wires, extension cords and cables in a wooded area. And she says local businesses suffering copper thefts are paying the price. CTV's Spencer Turcott spoke with councillor Helen Schwery earlier today. So Spencer, why did she choose to share this photo?
Well, she wants residents to know what businesses are dealing with, and when it comes to the cleanup, well, it's residents who can end up paying. Piles upon piles of wire insulation stripped and left in a wooded area in Cambridge. And seeing it is a case of deja vu for Ward 1 councillor Helen Schwery, who shared the photo taken by a resident.
I've seen it before. I've seen the piles off of another Beaverdale under the overpass was there in the summer. So I've been to different ones, but this one just kind of, okay, enough's enough.
She says businesses in her ward are constantly dealing with theft.
The cost of the damage that is so upsetting, the copper wire, there's a small cost to that, but it's the other damage that is incurred when the thefts occur.
In 2026, Waterloo Regional Police say they have received around 9 reports of copper-related wire theft in Cambridge and North Dumfries Township. A spokesperson for police said in an email, theft of wire, scrap metal, and cabling remains an ongoing concern across Waterloo Region, provincially and nationally. The items are often resold on the black market. Schwery says it's not just the cost that's a concern because of these thefts, but safety too, when dangerous items are stolen.
When they're like groups are around businesses that have the propane tanks outside, one explodes, that could cause a lot of damage.
With this particular photo showing a sea of stolen wires, a crew was hired by the city to come clean the area up.
There could be needles, there could be other hazardous items, so we do hire outside, and I would say it's the taxpayers paying for that.
And that's exactly why Schwery is sharing this photo, because it impacts far more than just the targeted businesses. She'll also be hosting a town hall meeting at Forefathers Brewing in Cambridge on April 30th to hear the concerns from those affected. And police did note that Cambridge and the surrounding area saw 25% fewer copper wire thefts in the first 3 months of 2026 compared to the last 3 months of 2025. Krista.
CTV's Spencer Turcott reporting for us tonight. Thanks, Spencer. An Ottawa family says they are lucky to be alive after their home became engulfed in flames last week. The blaze was sparked by a lithium-ion battery inside a wireless phone charger. The family is speaking out to show how something so small can cause such devastation. CTV's Katie Griffin reports.
This was my room.
Gabby Hammond's bedroom, unrecognizable.
1 second I was sleeping, and then the next second, like my room was in flames.
The power bank she used to charge her phone was in her bed and caught fire last month.
I heard a pop sound, and I kind of sprung up out of my bed, and then I felt my arm kind of burning. I tried to put the fire out with my pillow, and then I kind of threw the charger on the phone, but my mattress had already caught fire, so it just kept going and getting bigger.
Firefighters arrived on scene within 3 minutes. The fire spreading so fast, flames were already through the roof of the Stittsville home. It's the 9th fire caused by lithium-ion batteries in Ottawa so far this year.
Once they start catching, they spread fast and they burn hot. In this case, it's a newer build home and they burn very fast. So we saw that the fire was right through the roof upon arrival, and that's because of how fast homes burn now, only giving people on average 3 minutes to get out of a home.
In December, INU recalled more than 200,000 B41 power banks in the United States sold on Amazon after 15 reports of overheating, some causing fires and burns. Hammond bought hers in Canada, and while there isn't a current recall in this country, Health Canada says it's regularly reviewing recalls posted in other jurisdictions, including the U.S. CTV reached out to the company multiple times but did not hear back in time for broadcast. On its website, it says there was a potential issue with specific battery cells used in limited batches.
We're seeing more lithium-ion battery fires due to misuse of them, not following manufacturers' instructions, and just the simple act of dropping a lithium-ion battery on a hard surface may damage the battery and it should be replaced.
Amazon says items such as those referred to here are currently legal under applicable laws and as such are available in our store. Adding customers with concerns can contact customer service.
We're grateful to be alive. We're grateful that that we have a community that's here for us.
As for Gabby Hammond, she's staying away from power banks.
Try not to keep chargers or even devices in bed with you.
That was CTV's Kitty Griffin reporting. Crude oil prices shot up today. The markets rattled after Donald Trump's televised address last night where he said nothing new on Iran. Gas prices in Canada soared, prompting a call from the Conservative leader to give Canadians a tax break. And now Amazon says sellers will also pay a price. Here's CTV's Graham Richardson.
Food truck driver Maurice knows all about the pain at the pumps.
I fill up every 2 days.
So what was it and what is it?
It used to be 100, now it's 140.
And it's not just what you pay here. Input costs are going up everywhere, which eventually will trickle down to consumers buying off the shelves. On Thursday, Amazon announced it will now charge an extra 3.5% for anyone selling on the giant site, directly because of higher fuel costs.
Good folks. Thank you. There's someone who wants to pay less for gas.
Stepping into all of this economic pain, Pierre Poilievre, Conservatives now pushing the Carney government to declare a tax holiday on all fuel. Zero tax until the end of 2026.
Every single thing you buy has to be transported by truck and train using fuel. By cutting the fuel tax, you lower the cost of everything and make paychecks go further.
This is an expensive idea that would cost the government more than $5.5 billion to implement in this year alone. Conservatives say a cut to zero federal tax for the rest of the year would drop 25 cents per liter off the average fuel price, saving a family of four more than $1,200. Poilievre points to Australia, Spain, and Ireland. They've all cut fuel taxes to ease the pain for consumers. In a taping for CTV's Question Period this weekend, Transport Minister Steve McKinnon said this about possible gas tax relief.
It's an interesting idea that I heard from Mr. Poilievre, but I haven't been part of any discussion about removing the gas tax.
Like so many Canadians, Maurice has met this latest surge in costs with more of a shrug than anger, at least for now. And he doesn't have a choice.
I've been doing this for 51 years, and I've never seen it this high.
So what are the chances the government takes Conservative suggestion to drop the gas tax to zero? Probably zero. But the Carney Liberals are under increasing pressure to do more, to do something, to give consumers a break as gas prices remain sky high. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
A reminder to start your day in the know with our CTV News Kitchener newsletter. Get the best local content from CTV News straight to your inbox. We've got today's top stories, the latest weather forecast, and some must-see videos, and it's all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Still ahead, finishing up a fall task in April. How early snowfalls derailed leaf pickup in the city of Cambridge, the plan to get it all done now.
A messy start to your Easter long weekend. We're watching the system pass through southern and southwestern Ontario, bringing with it rainfall and potential thunder showers. We'll break things down coming up in the full forecast. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
The Aberfoyle Mill in Puslinch is closing its doors. An announcement about the closure was posted to the restaurant's website. The owner told CTV News the business has become unsustainable since the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 30 people worked at Aberfoyle Mill. The owner says he's not sure what the future will hold, but a retirement could be a possibility. As the snow melts, it's revealing some leftovers from last fall. The city of Cambridge is cleaning up leaves from the roads again this week, something they typically get done in the fall, but as CTV's Colton Weens explains, this past winter changed that schedule.
It's usually an activity for the fall in Cambridge, but this week, city crews are busy cleaning up leftover leaves from local roads. All because the wicked winter that started in fall and seemed to never end.
Typically what happens is first snowfall arrives and then the snow goes away and we have some nice weather days. So we can go back and resume the leaf pickup. That was not fall of 2025.
The city says they don't typically do leaf pickup during this time of the year, but because of the early snowfall in November, they're left picking up some extra leaves now in the spring.
The community would look not so beautiful, which we are very proud of. That's one part. These leaves end up in top of the storm grates and cause the flooding issues. So either residents or the city have to pick up the leaves and clear them out.
Shaw says crews are now prioritizing areas that didn't get loose leaf pickup in the fall and will respond to any other problem areas based on complaints.
We continued in between end of the November, but again, with the heavy winter, we had to pause it completely.
Shaw expects leaf pickup will take about 2 or 3 more weeks. Adding residents with extra leaves on their properties can also beg them for pickup from the region, or leave them on their lawn, either fully intact or mulched.
That encourages pollination and bees and whatnot. So that's a much more natural way of dealing with leaves, as opposed to having a 3 or 4 city equipment comes and picks up the way we are currently doing. It's not a sustainable way. We're doing it, but it's not sustainable.
The cities of Kitchener and Waterloo both tell CTV News their respective leaf collection programs were completed in the fall and won't be back out this spring. Colton Weens, CTV News, Cambridge.
A long-term care home in Kitchener is shining a light on a new spot that has quickly become a safe space for younger adults living with dementia. At the Sunshine Lounge, everyone is treated like family. CTV's Heather Senerin takes us inside.
Garth Benham is in his happy place.
I'm able to get on the keyboard over there and goof off a bit.
He's been playing the piano since he was around 5 years old. By now, it's muscle memory, but other memories are starting to fade as Benham has dementia.
All of a sudden, out of the blue, I was like, I didn't know where I was or who I was. And it only happened for about 10, 15 seconds, but it was the most horrifying experience.
Twice a week, he comes to the Sunshine Lounge at Sunnyside Long-Term Care in Kitchener to brighten his day.
A chance to feel alive, you know, instead of hanging around in my bedroom or the living room watching shows over and over again.
Members of the day program are from Sunnyside's Young Onset Dementia Association, also known as the YODA program.
12 participants in the program, but the program is actually currently waitlisted, and we have a number of people who are waiting to join this program.
It's a place where people under the age of 65 living with memory loss can feel accepted.
You don't have to worry about forgetting words that you're trying to get out. There's no expectation. It's like a warm atmosphere, and everybody is on different levels in here, but we all are equal when we come here.
Members can enjoy activities based on their interests and hobbies, and the entertainment isn't limited to in-house.
Learning new skills, going to new locations that maybe you didn't know was around the region. We do a lot of outings.
Where members like Venom can challenge themselves in a safe space.
Which is the most important thing with dementia, to keep your mind active so that you are able to hang on. You know, you don't want to just drift off.
Heather Senerin, CTV News, Kitchener.
Health experts are raising concerns about social media and its effects on young people, contributing to rising eating disorder cases. With more on the impact, here's CTV's Lauren Stallone.
Nearly a decade ago, Claire Tamaga was rushed to the emergency room when her parents noticed something was wrong.
The eating disorder made me a very angry person, and that's definitely not who I am.
After experiencing symptoms of an eating disorder, Tamaga was admitted as an inpatient at the Children's Hospital at London Health Sciences Centre.
I didn't want to be there. I was angry with the team and their efforts.
Now, Tamaga is in a much healthier place, crediting her recovery to the health professionals at LHSC.
The biggest thing that I've gained back is really my personality, my love for life, and just being involved in so much around me that I had totally missed out on when the eating disorder just clouds your vision.
To mark Child and Adolescent Eating Disorder Awareness Day, the Children's Health Foundation at LHSC is highlighting a growing number of cases.
One of the biggest changes that we saw probably was during COVID-19 pandemic, where there's evidence that a lot of patients due to the fact that they were spending more time at home and had more exposure to social media. The numbers starting rising.
Health professionals say evidence suggests social media promotes unrealistic body image expectations.
All this information coming from different places without being properly assessed or accurately assessed are definitely affecting the prevalence and the incidence on eating disorders in child and adolescents.
They say it is crucial for health practitioners and parents to teach their children healthy habits when it comes to social media consumption, something Tamaga has learned over time.
What I've learned is that I just need to keep scrolling.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
A new study is raising questions about dementia risk and why diet recommendations on that front might not apply to everyone. A large-scale Harvard University study published last year linked processed red meat consumption to a higher risk of dementia alongside other health concerns. But new research out of Sweden focused on a particular subset of adults who had genetic profiles common amongst Alzheimer's disease patients. Among those particular individuals, the study found there was actually a reduced risk of dementia diagnosis if they were also in the group that consumed the most meat. The findings were published in JAMA Network Open, and the authors say further research is crucial to confirm the observational findings. It has been a cool and rainy day, followed by thick fog late this afternoon. Here's a look at the conditions outside right now. Still looking a bit gloomy out there. This is a shot from the Grand River in Kitchener by the King Street Bridge. The water very high right now. There is a lot more rain in the forecast. We will check in with Leanne after the break. Also ahead, the federal government has promised to spend more money on defense, but where will the cash come from? A new report outlines the options, including raising the GST again. And another effect of soaring gas prices, vehicle sales slump in March. What else could be driving the drop? Well, Leanne, it's been a very wild start to spring. I was trying to clean my house today, and it was impossible because you've got to keep the winter gear out, you have to keep the spring gear ready, boots for rain, snow, running shoes if you're not dealing with either. When will this roller coaster stop and we can just commit to spring weather?
It feels like it's never ending. I know. It's like I grab for my winter parka and the next day I'm putting a spring jacket on. So I don't know. It's something we always have to deal with this time of year, it feels like. But we are definitely into the rainfall portion of spring now. However, it's just kind of come with cold temperatures this week. And it's weird because we're approaching Easter. You always think kind of light, sunshine, fun colors. But this weekend seems it's just going to be a little bit dreary. So we'll just have to buckle up with it.
Take it away.
Yeah, okay. As we take that live look outside now, That's the theme, dreary, rainy, gloomy, gray as we get into your Easter long weekend. And as you can see, the river flowing quite fast right now as well. We do have some flood watches and warnings in place by the Grand River Conservation Authority. You can take a look at their website to see which communities are under that tonight. Okay, we're going to show you some video here as well that Ross sent us in from the Highway 8 overpass. Check out this lightning. This is actually from the other night, Ross said, but captured it perfectly on the dash cam video there. Wanted to show it to you tonight because this is certainly something that we could come across as we are making our way out on the roads for our evening commute, especially if you're driving into the overnight hours. It's those embedded thunder showers that kind of come out of what feels like nowhere. So Ross, thanks so much for sending in that video. Perfectly captures the storm season that we have been seeing here as we get into April. We're seeing some rain watches and warnings in place as well, put in place by Environment Canada, rainfall warnings, excuse me. For areas north of Waterloo region, we're not under it here locally. However, if you are joining us from the Wyerton area through Bruce Peninsula, Sauble Beach, Tobermory, this rainfall warning is in place for you folks, as well as you can see a big bulk of the northern and eastern portions of the province, looking at anywhere from 30 to 50 millimeters of rainfall overnight by tomorrow morning. So this will remain in place as we get into the overnight hours, but we're not out of the woods here locally either. As you can see, the system is pretty widespread. There are pockets that are going to be heavier amounts of rainfall as we get into the overnight hours Thursday. You can see those embedded thunder showers that build off the shores of Lake Huron. So we could notice those pop up here in Waterloo region as well. And as we get into Friday, we're likely going to see those lingering showers persist. The map and the model that we're seeing right now is showing the rainfall be a little bit lighter Friday morning, but it will kind of depend how this system tracks and passes through. But it does look like by Friday afternoon, things will clear out. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of sunshine as well as we get into the afternoon Friday. And if you have any outdoor Easter long weekend activities, maybe that's the time to do so. Overnight Friday into Saturday, a little bit of cloud cover, but we are looking at some more rainfall to move in on Saturday. 8 to 10 millimeters of rain over the next 24 hours or so here in Waterloo region, about 15 in the Wyerton area, 13 in the Windsor-Essex area. Let's talk temperatures, because today we topped out with just a high of 1 degree. And that's kind of why Krista and I were talking about keep your winter jackets out, because, yeah, I kind of felt like you needed it out there today. Usually this time of year, we're sitting at about 8 degrees, so well below seasonal for what we're used to seeing. We did warm up a little bit from just in the past hour or so to about 2 degrees. So that is actually going to be our daytime high. Things have been warming up because that's going to be the trend as we get into the overnight hours as well. We'll talk about that. Wind chill values making it feel closer to -3. So that warm up is continuing. We're going to get to overnight low of 7 degrees. That risk of thunder showers, the fog continuing to build as we get into the overnight hours as well. Temperatures just continue to rise through the day tomorrow. 21 degrees, the forecast high. With the rainfall, we're likely going to see fairly gusty winds, upwards of about 60 kilometers an hour or so as well. Now, the chance for precipitation persists through your Easter long weekend. 16 degrees, the daytime high for Sunday, and temperatures drop, rather 16 degrees for Saturday. Temperatures drop by Sunday with a daytime high of just 3. Hopefully going to see some sunshine your way in the Windsor area, especially through the afternoon tomorrow with a daytime high of 22. And in southern Georgian Bay, looking at some precipitation to continue through the Easter long weekend and possibly capping things off with snowfall. So yeah, don't put away the winter gear just yet. All right, here's today's Weather Watcher picture. Look at this little raccoon. This is from John, and John captured the raccoon perfectly. He looks so cute posing in the tree like that. And I gotta say, I know our dear colleague Dan Lochner is a big fan of raccoons, and he's got his raccoon sweater on tonight. So I thought this photo was absolutely fitting for our team as well.
What a great capture. Thanks, John, for sending us that photo.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right. Donald Trump's ongoing musings about breaking up with NATO come as Canadians face a potential tax hike if Ottawa is to meet its commitment to the alliance. A new report from an independent policy think tank suggests the feds should consider increasing the GST to pay for Canada's promise to increase defence spending. Here's CTV's Judy Trin on the CD Howe report and what it means.
Canada plans to spend much more on defense. It needs to replace aging submarines, to buy new fighter jets, and build up Arctic security. Investments that come with a huge bill.
It won't be easy, and I think that this is part of the discussion that Canadians need to have.
After more than a decade, Canada finally reached 2% of GDP spending in 2025, but NATO members have now set a 5% target for 2035. That means spending $150 billion a year.
We embarked on this mission to protect Canadians, to defend our territory, to protect our borders, and to boost our sovereignty. Because nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We control our destiny.
By 2035, the federal government could spend as much on defense as it does on provincial transfer payments for healthcare and education. The CD Howe Institute says the government needs to increase the GST rate of 5% to 6% or even back up to 7%.
There's a compromise solution that exists that involves a little bit of increase to the GST, so perhaps 1 percentage point or 2 percentage points, and then some decrease in the growth rate of other forms of government spending, in particular transfers to the provinces, is something that we should discuss.
Although the government launched a defense industrial strategy to build more weapons to export to other countries, it may not be enough.
Are there likely going to be positive spillover effects from that plan? Yes. Are they going to be sufficient to pay for the entire increase in defense spending? Most certainly not.
If the government decides it doesn't want to raise taxes, it could borrow money, which means sinking further into debt. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Still ahead, an ambitious vision in Listowel. The plan for what could be Canada's first agricultural science centre. What has to happen, though, to make this multi-million-dollar project a reality?
Explosive rhythm, percussion, dance, theater, comedy, and more. CTV Kitchener is giving you the chance to experience the global phenomenon Stomp live at Centre in the Square on April 17th. Enter now for your chance to win tickets at ctvkitchener.ca.
Auto sales saw a significant drop last month, another impact of spiking gas prices. Drozier's automotive consultant says about 170,000 vehicles were sold across Canada in March. That represents a more than 8% slump compared to the same month in 2025. Drozier's managing partner, Andrew King, says high gas prices have added even more financial strain for Canadian consumers. In addition to the challenges posed by a year of tariff tensions with the U.S., the report says harsh winter weather also kept shoppers away from dealerships. Stellantis is in early talks about building electric vehicles in Canada with a Chinese partner. Sources say the automaker is looking at options for its idle assembly plant in Brampton, including a plan to build EVs with a Chinese tech company that Stellantis has a 20% stake in. If it goes ahead, it would be the first major Chinese auto investment in Canada since Prime Minister Mark Carney rolled back tariffs on EVs made in China. We're getting an idea at what a multi-million-dollar agricultural science centre in Listowel could look like. It's an ambitious and unique project, but as CTV's Scott Miller reports, there's still a long way to go and a lot of money to raise before it becomes a reality.
Momentum is building with the release of what Canada's first agricultural science centre will look like when it is built in a now empty farmer's field on the edge of Listowel.
We're elated that we're at this stage. We've got the land, we've now got a design of what it could be.
The Ontario Agri-food Discovery Centre, formerly known as the Huron-Perth Ag Science Centre, is a multi-million-dollar idea to highlight the connection between science and agriculture that makes southern Ontario one of the most agriculturally productive regions in the world.
We're the #1 driver of our economy in Ontario, and we don't really get recognized for that well enough.
Dolson envisions a facility that highlights the evolving technological advancements in food production, educating school children and families spring to fall, while hosting agribusiness for training and conferences during the slower winter season.
1 in 9 people in Canada are employed in the agri-food industry. That's something very few people really understand, that there are so many exciting jobs, exciting careers in agriculture and food. And that's one thing that this centre will expose the young people to.
But a project like this will not come cheap. What started off as a modest $14 million proposal to build this facility has more than doubled in size and tripled in cost to now more than $50 million.
The capital campaign could get started in 2027 with the hope that would run for about 2 years. Once we know the level of support, how much of the phase development we could go after to have a facility start building in 29, opening in the end of 2030.
Funding from all levels of government, agri-food businesses, retailers, even farmers themselves will be required to make the Ontario Agri-Food Discovery Centre a reality.
We know it's a big project. It's going to be a destination for people across southwestern Ontario to want to come to learn through interactive exhibits about today's modern agriculture.
In Listowel, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Orbiting the Earth, but aiming for the moon. We check in on the Artemis II mission as astronauts prepare for the next major step in the journey. That story is after the break. Stay with us. This was Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen's first full day in orbit as the Artemis II mission gets ready to kick into high gear. Crew on board tested systems, got some sleep, and prepared for an engine burn that will set them on course for the moon. But the mission so far hasn't been without its glitches. With more on that, here's CTV's John Venavali-Rao.
3, 2, 1, booster ignition. After a picture-perfect launch and 8-minute ride into space, part of which was captured out the window of a passenger jet.
Welcome on board the Integrity spacecraft.
The astronauts have had a very productive first day in orbit, checking systems while simulating a rendezvous with another spacecraft and making course adjustments.
The systems, though, are performing very well. We anticipate that they continue to.
Great job, Victor.
The astronauts have noted that it is cold in the capsule, which is being addressed. And initially, there was a problem with a lone toilet on board, but that has been fixed, with officials saying glitches are expected, given this is the first time humans have ever flown in the Orion spacecraft.
You can expect that with such a complex systems along the mission, different little anomalies will blip up and down and they'll be resolved. That's part of the course.
Following a 6-minute engine burn today, it will take the astronauts 4 days to get to the moon. Once there, they'll loop around it, with some hoping they'll capture on Monday a stunning view like this of the Earth rising from behind the moon.
I know that they're really going to try to make that happen. I can't give you a confirmation on that yet, but stay tuned.
And yeah, it's a tiny space. It's about the size of a camper van.
In a pre-recorded video, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen showed just how tight the interior of the capsule is. The 4 astronauts have sleeping bags that can be tethered to the spacecraft walls, and during the trip, they'll test exercise gear, which will be important to long missions in space.
They are taking a very small piece of equipment called a flywheel, and so they're going to be doing exercise every single day.
The astronauts describing the view from space as phenomenal as they head to the moon. And we will likely hear directly from Hansen this weekend during a video chat from space. John Venavali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
We have more news ahead, but first, here's Leanne with our rainy satellite and radar.
Yeah, and we actually have a weather update for you from Environment Canada as well, putting Waterloo region under a special weather statement for heavy rainfall, and a yellow advisory is in place for fog, so expect low visibility at times as you make your way out on the road. We'll have your wake-up weather coming up next.
Quite the lineup for you to kick off your long weekend. Start with Georgie and Mandy, followed by Next Level Chef, 911 Nashville, and cap it all off with Grey's Anatomy tonight on CTV.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, one last check on the weather, Leanne. The forecast kind of looks like a bingo card, like every number is on there possible. So what are we waking up to tomorrow?
Yeah, I know. It seems like this system has just been bringing this rain for us. We're going to take a look at the satellite and radar right now, just so I can give you those updated statements in place by Environment Canada. We do have a special weather statement for heavy rainfall in Waterloo region, and we're also under a fog advisory. So keep that in mind as you make your way out on your evening commute into the overnight hours. And then as we see tomorrow, we do have the risk of thunder showers very early in the morning. By 10 a.m. though, we're going to be seeing some sunny breaks. And Krista, I think actually tomorrow won't be a complete washout. I don't want to say for sure, but it looks like we will have some dry periods and warm temperatures. So maybe a nice time to get outside and enjoy.
Not a bad way to start Friday.
Yeah.
Thanks, Leanne. Well, finally for us tonight, the Easter Bunny made an early stop at a zoo in Germany. Monkeys got a chance to participate in a festive egg hunt this week.
Yeah, and those dyed eggs that you see, they were filled with edible treats and surprises, but this Easter Bunny didn't bring them chocolate. Instead, they got hard-boiled eggs. I'm sure for the monkeys, maybe they enjoyed that. I don't think I would.
Well, I don't think that would go very well if that's what my kids find on Easter, but we'll have to find out. Thanks, Leanne. Have a good night.